we live? What's happening? Yeah, I decided to come back, just show you where I'm at now from where I was this morning. After lunch, did a few things, came back and what's happening? Smashed out most of the detail. Let's get rid of that echo. What's up, Paul? Just figure out a way for a few more people to get in, show what I'm doing now. So yeah, so this morning, you guys who might have watched this morning saw I started with all the detail. I'd already did the initial block out last night, and then started all the detail. 90% freehand, a little masking here, a little masking there, like we talked about earlier, just where it's needed. And I did these in 2 tones. So when I blocked this guy out, he was blocked out in like almost like a baby blue. He was blocked out in a white. Then I used Oriental Blue Candy mixed with white for the initial detail. I used like a Cobalt Phthalo Blue for this one. Once I did all the detail with that, I went back in with white, and I did a little fish scale treatment. And I put up a little video, if you guys have seen it, on how to make a fish scale template super easy and cheap. That kind of goes along with my how to make a paint strainer video. Where is the... here we go. So if you're ever going to do fish scales or snake skin, go to your hobby store or craft store and grab yourself a quilter's loop and some fish net material. This is an oval one. I did a smaller mesh pattern here. This is a larger pattern I did here. And these last forever. I've used this one for years. And the cool thing is you can actually like kind of stretch the scales like as you're painting and get them to go in different, get different directions. Because you can put it down like this and like pull it and then paint quickly. I showed a quick tutorial on that. And then this one I did some smaller ones. So super easy. So I did that, and then I highlighted freehand each one. It basically went through and kind of came to each scale and just put like a center highlight like this. Just gives a nice little, it's fast, but effective. I can come in and just color urethane, so I'm not doing this in a studio, it's at the shop. But I've done on it. I'll save the remainder for after I do all the graphics. So what I'm going to do now is just showing you how I'm going to get set up for the graphics. Ooh, let me let's do this. That got really crappy looking for a sec. So ultimately what's going to happen is I'm going to start painting detail on these panels. But before I do that, I'm going to cut and peel some of the ones that we work on off. And then I'm going to back mask. Basically, I'm going to put transfer tape back on this and cover these guys up. And that way I can keep them preserved for the rest of the painting process. And I'll get a nice crisp edge around them. And then I'll be able to drop shadow them into the graphics and tighten up the edges. And it'll look really, really cool. So what I'm doing now is I have the tape underneath and I have the transfer tape on top. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my blade and I'm cutting on the tape. So I'm basically cutting, if you see these, let's see if that connected. Can I get you back? Let's see. Yep, Yep, sorry about that. I lost you guys for a sec. You guys still there? As you can see, I got a nice crisp edge. There's very little edging here. I kept the paint very thin. Just make sure. So now what I'm going to do is once I get this pulled out, I can transfer tape back over, and I'm going to cover these guys back up. So they will stay crisp and clean to the very end of the project. And like I said, these guys are like 90% done. You know, right here, like see how this one crosses over? I'm not happy with, like, right here is not dark enough. But I really couldn't tell that until I saw what's exposed here. So once I get the background done, I always say that last 10% of detail and shading, I can finish that up and make it really, you know, the way I want it, and pop the way I want it. Now I typically just use a straight edge blade here because I actually like them better for this. I left them up in the studio. I don't have a fresh one out here. What I also might do at the end, I think on these rear fins, I might come off them freehand and put a lot of soft wisps on them, just to get rid of that super sharp edge, because I don't think I want it that crisp. And so I'm doing water here. I marked I'm doing water over here. So basically, I'm going to expose these panels now. So I know what I'm doing. And this is just regular vinyl transfer tape. Nothing special here. It is a little harder to cut. What I really should have used to make it like super slick would have been some FBS mask. Route 22, what's going on, man? Thanks for popping in. Yeah, it's coming along. Yeah, this is definitely something I can't do a full full live feed and all this, but I've done pieces of it. There's so much to this painting that a lot of starting and stopping. So I figured it'll be cool just to pop in and out, and you can see sections. Then I've been recording other sections and then putting them up online, so maybe I could take all this footage and feeds and kind of put them together. Watching it snow. Where's it snowing? Yeah, so it's hard to... So this one comes in and goes straight down. This is right here. You'll see it at the end. The way the graphics weave in and out. But I love the way this is just popping. And when I do this background, it's just going to look really slick and dimensional. And we'll get all all the depth of the fish. The koi's jumping in and out, basically. So that's there, that's there. And cut you. And honestly, maybe not this loud, but I talk my paintings through like this even when I'm not recording. South Dakota, wow, nice. They're getting early snow. So that's cool. I think that's everything. Oh, this is going to have water in it as well. Remember, I'm cutting on the tape. So basically what I'm doing is, what I know is going to have the same pattern, or sometimes even if it's off patterns, they're far enough away, I'm cutting it away now, just so I can do it all at once and plan it. Like, I know this side's going to have geometric, and I might pull it now, just because I can. So we'll see. Just stay on the tape as much as possible in the center, and you'll always have nice clean lines. Thanks, man. What's up, Marshall? Welcome back. I'm back too. I figured I'd show you where I'm at from this morning. Yeah, so I think that's cool. So basically, I'm making all this the water, which is going to be like ring water, I think. And so I'm kind of cutting all that stuff out now. I might cut these out just because I'm going to... This is going to be a geometric. And I figure I might as well get this stuff started. And then what I have to do is here, I'm going to go upstairs to the studio. Oh, good. You saw the short? Great. Oops. I pulled that 1/4 inch. Maybe. Yeah. Just running through my head whether I want to have... I've been running through my head the whole time whether I want this to have a full 1/4 inch border around the whole thing. And I think I do. So I'm going to put that back. In these spaces, I think I'm going to do like the Sashuke like cloud. I might do a cloud pattern up in here. Yeah, I'm going to do a cloud pattern here. This is going to be like water drop as far as like circle, like ripples. But you'll see some of the flake through it. This one is either going to have a cloud or a wave, like traditional Japanese wave pattern coming up through here. This is going to be a fan. This, I might do a different color. And I'm going to start planning these out right now. So I'm in good shape. So basically the goal is I get all this done between tonight and tomorrow. And the first section of clear can go on. I can see what I like and what I think I need to add, because I'm going to sand it. And then I'll do a couple little touch-ups and additions. Then I'll do the final clear. And then it'll be all buffed and polished and ready for SEMA. But right now you can see how, like, this, if you look, this fin is over the graphic. This rear fin, this side goes over, and then it goes over this section, then back under, then back out, then back over. This one goes underneath here, and then comes out of that one. So basically, I want to get that nice weaved look. And whenever you're doing, a little trick I learned from doing like Celtic nut work, whenever you want to do something that weaves in and out. I can hear my dog. Big mouth. So, whenever you do weave, you try as much to go over, under, over, under, over, under. Not over, over, under, under. Oh, the substrate is my normal panels, those big aluminum panels with the PVC core, the polymetal. But it's been flaked with flake and, you know, big flake and a little rainbow flake. So that base color under here is actually this. So you won't see any flake through here, but most of these panels, you're going to have flake coming through different blue candies and dark blue, light blue. But yeah, so that's what it is. Chris Garcia, what's going on, man? So yeah, that's what I got kind of going. Like I said, this is probably about the 85-90% point of these guys. So I'm very happy with that. Whenever I mix airbrush work and graphics, sometimes I do the graphics first, sometimes I do the mural work first. But when I do the artwork, like mural work or artwork, I always leave it about 80% and then cover it, then do the graphics, and then come back and do all the final, you know, balancing. Because the cool thing about doing these guys such opaque on top of this metallic, they're going to look like they really float, because this is going to be all sparkly and dance and have the candies for depth. But these are opaque, so they almost become three-dimensional. They're going to pop out at you. So like I said, this will be at the Iwata booth next week at SEMA. Which the cool thing color-wise, and I didn't do it because it's going to be Iwata, but I always wanted to do a koi with graphic panel, almost lowrider-esque style in a Japanese format. And I wanted that Japanese, like, kind of porcelain look. And then with the silver, and then I'm toying with the idea, you guys can stop me if you think it's crazy. But after it's all done, I'm thinking with all this porcelain white and silver and blue tones, a little gold accent here and there might be cool. Like, even I might make this spot here gold, where I might do like a little accent to the fins or a couple little things in gold just to pop. I might Photoshop it and try it first. So we'll see. But I figured I'd just pop in live and talk to you guys and show you how I get to this point. And this is also a point where you go through, and you see I missed one there. There's a little piece of masking that I double cut. Go through and get all this now, because if you don't want to find it when you clear, because it stinks when you do that. Like, there's a little, I just found a little piece there I didn't like. We're gonna highlight that. And just make sure it's all good. And then we're going to mask everything up. And for the masking, I am going to use FBS blue gold, because this stuff, the reason I like doing it for counter masking, it's super thin. Super thin. It's so easy to cut, and you can see through it really well. Digging it. Yeah, I'm thinking the gold, it might, I just don't know where yet. So I got some plan to do for that. So So I'm going to do this guy here. This stuff's really easy to see through. And before I stack it, I can just cut. You just take your time. And I would rather cut a little bit overlapped onto him than have that bright silver peek through. So. I'm trying to cut just once. I don't want to have a ton of cut marks in my panel, because every time you cut, you are slightly cutting that clear. Even if you're super good at the blade, you are putting a slight score in it. Even if you're not cutting deep, you're still cutting a little bit. Like I said, I'd rather my next color go over the top than to pull the mask off and have like bright silver. Let's see, now that's nice and crisp. But now you can see there's a reason why I don't do these big long projects in a live feed, as far as like my Friday nights. But I do want to start doing more weekday feeds, shorter feeds that show some of the day-to-day stuff, and kind of mini lessons like this. So you don't ever really bury with 40-50. They do bury a bit if you get some score lines. You'll bury them enough that when you go to clear, it'll all fill in. But sometimes you can still see them if you're on a dark surface. This has got so much going on, you will never see it, so it's fine. But if this was black or base color I cut out here, you'd never get rid of that cut. You'd still see it. Even with the clear, a lot of times you'd still see it. So that's why I try to do one at a time and cut it as accurate as I can. Can you guys hear my dog? I can't tell if it's popping through the mic or not. I can hear her. Oh, Chris, you are coming? Very cool. Marshall, you coming? Hey! Shut up! My dog's wondering where that came from. Makes more authentic feed. Yeah, I want to start doing some more impromptu daytime feeds. I'm going to bring some better cameras out here eventually. Or some of the cameras I used to use on my live feed that are better than a phone. And that way I can still do a nice quality feed. But now, the nice thing is once these guys are covered, I can do these graphics like super quick. And I don't have to worry about contaminating these. And then at the end, I'll still have very little edge here. Because the nice thing about gold mask, someone has to keep an eye on me, right? The nice thing about gold mask is stuff's super thin, so you don't have to build up a lot of paint. I'm not going to get a super huge paint edge, which I don't want a big paint edge. The other mask I could use, and I didn't have any down here, is I could use the green. Because the green mask is super transparent. Maybe I'll try to maybe use some of that. There I do have some, just so you can see. Because that would have been way easier to see through than the gold. But right now, I'm just using my iPhone right now. That's all I'm using. It's just an iPhone on a tripod. Which is the other reason I wanted to do this, because that was a shock compressor. Other reason I wanted to try this is my iPhone, and I got a cage for it, and I got a light coming for it, and I got a better mic. So I just wanted to see how this was going to look, because I want to do some live feeds from SEMA. Oh, Marshall, that's awesome. I got into a debate the other day with someone about how YouTube doesn't teach anyone anything, is what their thought was. It's not going to make a master out of anyone. And I beg to differ on it. I don't know if YouTube is ever going to be a result of making someone a master. Nor do I think our live classes, our workshops, our magazines and DVDs back in the day made someone a master. It may have contributed to someone becoming a master. But I don't think any one class, any one workshop, any one format is going to create someone to be a master. That takes work and dedication. Many types of learning. Well, that's the hope, man. It's just to make it better and better. And the more people that support, the easier it is for me to do that. So I thank all you guys who are members and guys who contribute and help out, and even just this, you come when I come on, you guys are there, so that means a lot. I know that if I decide to push live, I'm going to get 10 to 15 people, or 5 guys, or shit, even 2 guys, I don't care. But you guys are always there, and I got to start doing some better feed times for guys who are in other parts of the world. So, yeah. Like I said, now I'm just filling them in. And it's got the detail. Now, if I had designed this in the plotter, which, I've done quite a bit in the past, or if this was going to be a project that was plottable and I would have made just a silhouette mask that would just pop right back in. Marshall, that's helped me a ton. Awesome. Yeah, when you go to classes and workshops, you should be learning techniques and ways to approach things so you can put your own technique on it and adapt it to your working style. Not so much be a carbon copy of that project. Obviously, you want to do a good job of the project and make it look like the instructors. But I always found the important lessons to get out of a class is the process, not the end result. The process is what matters. And if you learn the process, the more you do it, the better you're going to get. So even this little piece here, you're going to see the water through. And that little pop out is just going to make it look really cool. Now, the more I grow the channel, hopefully it helps more and more people. And then it helps me as well because I can keep doing fun stuff and I can grow my projects and my lessons and just my audience and have more fun with people. And that allows me to do other fun stuff, other bigger projects. And it's a snowball effect. Just slow and steady pull best. Slow and steady wins the race when it comes to this part. Oops. Actually, I don't need that because I don't want to pull it off. Like, I don't need this guy here anymore because I don't want to. Oops, I need that. But it's just taking your time. The cleaner I do this, the less cleanup I have to do at the end. And there might be some registration mark cleanup, meaning like I didn't cut exactly where I should have. But I know how to fix those mess ups. If one thing, Chris will tell you, one thing I did beat into every one of my classes is the difference between a professional and an amateur. A professional knows how and when to fix their fuck ups. I didn't say that. Fug ups. I said fug. If I didn't say the bad word. See, now I know that fin's going. And the other thing, like, and Chris will tell you, when I do the classes, I make the project somewhat on the difficulty level that you will fail because I'd rather, especially the live classes. The live class I push a lot harder than I do in my, the projects you do it on Amherst Down Dirty Tricks. Because at a live class, that's where you want to be messing things up. Those mess ups give me as a teacher the opportunity to teach you how to fix that problem. So when you come across it in the end, down the road, you know how to fix it. It's no fun learning how to do everything perfect and then walking away and then having a problem. You have no idea how to make it better. That's why I liked when Jason Brookshire did the prep to polish class. Everyone thought I was just going to be prepping a clean metal panel and then working from there. The first day, he took a ball peen hammer and dented all the panels and messed them up and put little creases in them. And the part of the project was learning how to actually take the dents and the mistake out. Happy little mistakes. Absolutely. I'm still going to try to do a feed Thursday night. The feed Thursday night is going to be very determinant where this ends up. But I think I'll be good. I think I'll be able to do a feed. I'm pretty sure. Same. Yeah, I want to try to work some up for next year. I got to try to work one up here at my studio. I definitely want to do one at Createx. Talk to the guys there. I don't want to always have to rely on just going to Coast. Got to do some more here in the Northeast, or the East Coast in general. Anyone go to Gerald Mendez's down at Spring Hunters? Yeah, I'll talk to Craig. I'm actually going to go shoot a video right after SEMA. I'm going to be down at Createx, so we'll line something up. It's almost there. I just got to finish that guy, and then the other half. I'm budgeting for some trips and classes. Awesome. Yeah. I want to get to Hawaii at some point. I know eventually we were talking. I was talking with a friend of mine who lives there, about doing one years ago. We just never really got to do it. And now we're definitely not gonna, because he was in Lahaina, so his house is gone. But maybe after rebuilds, we'll do something. You know what the problem with Hawaii's always been? It's not about getting us out there. It's making it affordable. Because the travel is expensive for us to get out there. But the hotels and to hold an event is so damn expensive that instead of like a 3-day course at $500, it'd be probably a 3-day course at like $1,500 per person to do it, and we'd still probably have trouble breaking even because it's just so darn expensive there to do a class.
Could you try?
But if you know a place that can hold enough people, and we can get enough people signed up, I'd do a class in Hawaii in a second. You want to facilitate it? Marshall, if you know a place, you can help organize it. We can keep it affordable for people. If my travel gets covered, my base pay of day-to-day work, teaching gets covered, I'm there in a second. In a second. Well, you know Dennis is going to be at SEMA, right? He's going to be demoing. I know he's got at least one demo time slot over in the Iwata booth on Thursday. I don't know if he's going to be in for Hogs and Heifers. I don't think he's in time for it. But I know he's going to be in for SEMA. And he's going to be doing a painting demo or finishing a painting at the Iwata booth. So that's going to be cool. That's a rare thing to see. This is the other reason I don't do a lot of like my live feeds when I have to do stuff like this, because it's not fun watching, is it? I mean, it's not as fun as like when I'm smashing freehand or spraying and pulling mask, spraying and pulling mask, spraying and pulling mask. This is the tedious part, but it's the reality of a lot of paintings, especially when you're doing opaques and big metallics and candies and opaques. You got to have masking between them if you want them to really look good and not all contaminated. There's definitely a lot of silence when I'm doing these. I mean, I can talk a little bit when I'm doing it, but not my usual. If people like it, I'll do more. Even just quick little ones like this where they're live. I mean, they don't need to be all multicams and crazy lighting. A little bit more raw. Stop it! So my dog is obsessed with squirrels like all dogs, but to the point where she won't let up. Marshall, yeah, I mean, I'd be happy to talk to you about it. You know, the reality of what space you need, what items you need, the costs involved. You know, realistically, what we've done deals with other people, like what I've done in Canada. Once my travel's paid and my day rate's covered for a lesson, the facilitator can take the rest of the profit. So, you know, as long as they have a place to do it, they can set it up. You know, we have basic supplies and everything we need to bring. As far as me, you know, we can get the airbrushes, the paint, the materials, the compressors, everything to do the class. We can get out there. You know, so that's not the problem. The problem is always a good, you know, safe space to do it. That's affordable somewhat. Obviously, it's Hawaii, so it'd be more than normal. You know what the biggest thing we always found was the hindrance to a lot of classes? Proximity to the airport. Like, if it's an hour or so from the airport and it's really expensive from the airport, people turn off really quick when they start booking the trip. They're like, oh, I was going to do the class until I booked my flight, and then it was going to cost X to get from the airport. Oh, I did that backwards. I wasn't supposed to pull them. I'm such an idiot. That's what happens when I talk. And my dog barks. It disturbs me. Let's fix this. Yeah, Marshall, but yeah, we'll definitely talk. I mean, I'm down to do a class anywhere in the world as long as we can have the place to do it, and I'm not doing it for free. As much as I love teaching, I don't want to do it for free. It's definitely a lot more work than most people believe it is. Yeah, you want like affordable, decent hotel. Somewhat close to the airport. I always say within 45 minutes is best. Anything more than that, you start getting people like, I don't want to drive an hour after flying hours. So airport proximity, hotel pricing is big. Especially if you can house it at a hotel, it's even easier because people don't have to go anywhere. So then where the location where you're teaching, how far is that from the hotel? Is it next door? Is it another hour? Do people have to rent cars every day? Do we have shuttles? Or are we doing it at the hotel? You know, that stuff makes all the difference. And that's what a lot of people will never realize. Like, we'd always get hey, come to the Midwest. I would, but the Midwest is more expensive to fly to than Vegas. You know, which is why we did in Vegas. Why do we Vegas? Cheap flights to Vegas. You can get fairly cheap hotels in Vegas. But like we flew to the middle of where were we? Missouri. And the flights to Missouri were so expensive. You could find some cheap ones, but you just couldn't get you had no options. So it quickly became like we didn't do the class there, but I was like flying there for work. And I remember talking to someone, like, yeah, I'd love to do one here, but you know, everything is so damn far away from the airport. And the flights were more expensive than going from, California to Boston. Mainly because it's, and that would be the big thing. Obviously, Hawaii would be, you would have to make it like a true destination thing. Like, you got to come airbrush, you got to learn, we're going to have nice dinners, it's going to be expensive. But it's going to be expensive in a way that it'll be the once in a lifetime opportunity that you'll never forget. Let's see if it actually picks back up. I wonder how long ago. The only problem with doing it when I'm not paying attention, like my other feed, and I can't see everything live is I'm sitting here talking to myself for I don't know how long. So I'm not sure where you guys saw me leave off, but I finished this. I think everything is done. The coils are covered. Now I can do what's in here, then start doing what's in here, and then I start pulling the tape. Maybe what I'll do is, I don't think I'm going to be able to show everything as I'm doing these panels. It's too much back and forth, and I'm going to run into a time problem. But I think once I get all the panels done, and I start pulling the fine line and doing some things, maybe I'll start showing that, or down to the last couple. So I hope you found this helpful. I was like, he stopped talking and there's no dog barking. Well, at least it didn't dump out completely. Meaning I could start back up. So it was just like a still shot. But yeah, so that's where we're at right now. So this was, this is almost what a full day of painting is like. So I started at 9 this morning getting ready. Got out here, got things fired up. Where I started painting around 10:30. Then I got live. We went live, I think, at 10:30, 11 to almost noon. Lunch break. Then I made those snakeskin things. Showed you how to do that. Made that, and then we got all this detail done the interim. So that's kind of a full day. It's 4 o'clock. Is it 4 after 4? Oh, it's 4:44. 4:44. So I'm going to start getting the graphics ready. So I'm going to eat dinner. I'm going to go sit in the computer, make up some graphics, figure out my patterns. And then tomorrow I think I'll do all the pattern work. And then that'll be done. And the first round of clear will go tomorrow night, which is Wednesday. Sand it. Then I got to do the leaf and any touch-ups on Thursday. And then clear it again. And then give enough time to wet sand and buff before I fly out Monday. So, no pressure. No pressure. I was going to try to do another couple paintings, but I doubt that's going to happen, but maybe we'll see. I'll do something live. But yeah, I appreciate you guys popping in. Make sure you smash the like, share it, talk about it, and tell all your friends to join up, become members, and help this channel grow more and more. I will see you guys possibly tomorrow and definitely Thursday night. Thanks for popping in. See ya.